today I'm going to be doing a little chit chat, get ready with me. I'm going to talk to you about my last job experience and why I left. So let's jump right in. So a lot of the reason why I left is honestly because of being like mistreated and not feeling like I fit in or belong there. And on that topic, I want to start off with how when I got there, I felt a lot of people were talking shit and two-faced, including the boss. And I'm not going to name any names, and I'm not going to say where I was working, just because obviously I don't want anyone to go there and say anything bad. Like, I worked there for 2 years, so I mean, like, it was a job, and I'm sure lots of people have been through similar shitty situations. So there was also times of just having like meltdowns there. Like, I've literally had a mental breakdown in that store and nobody gave a fuck. Like, that's just how it is. Nobody cares there. Everyone cares about themselves. Except for like one person. You know who you are, bitch. Love you. But anyways, so things happen, and once things start happening, it all just goes downhill from there. So my biggest thing was that I didn't want to do closes by myself, which who would want to anyways, especially when you're working alone at a store and there's a bar right next, like right beside the store. Who wants to be a young girl closing the store at midnight when there's always drunk old men coming around trying to be creepy? Nobody wants to do that, and everybody there always felt like weird about it. Nobody really wanted to do it. Let's be real. But it's in your job description and you have to. But thankfully, I denied doing that as soon as I got there because I didn't feel safe, and you're allowed to deny safe working. However, I got asked so many times to do a closing shift, and I kept saying, I'm not gonna do a closing shift because I don't feel safe there. That's plain and simple. Like, I don't feel safe doing that. I would much rather work with somebody, or if I'm going to be by myself, I have to work with someone in the day, or like I have to be working in the day because it's not safe there. Like, it's just not. But again, a job is a job, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, so this place, when I first started working there, like I said, there was the bar that was like literally right beside it. And when I started working there, there was this really creepy old man that would always come in. I'm not gonna say his name again, but he would always come in, and he was a regular. And let me just tell you, I am so glad that he decided to move on his own. Otherwise, that would have been it for me within like the first like month and a half of being there. Anyways, so one night I'm working, and it's probably like 9 o'clock. I'm off at like 10, something like that. And he comes up, and I have like, we're in a store, we have like stickers that we have to go around and like put on all the merchandise. And I'm doing my job. I have stickers because they're on rolls. And instead of just carrying the box of a bunch of stickers, like sticker rolls around, I just decided to rip off some because I know that I'm going to use them all. So I rip off like a strip of a few different stickers and I put them in my back pocket, and I'm walking around and I'm just stickering stuff like normal. Nobody's being weird about it. Nobody's saying anything like they do that, whatever. It's a thing, whatever. And this creepy ass old man comes in, and he's drunk, mind you, and he comes up to me and he says, "Hey hun, there's some stickers on your ass." And it's like, why the fuck are you looking at my ass to begin with? Second, that's creepy. Like, you shouldn't even be harassing me right now. Like, what the fuck? And like, all the other employees there, because they knew him, they were like, "Oh, it's normal, it's normal." That's not fucking normal. That's sexual harassment, actually. But I'm not gonna say anything because they've been there for longer than I have, and their word against mine means nothing to the boss. Like I said, my opinion doesn't fucking matter. There was one time I went into the store. Nobody told me that there was a staff meeting. Nobody. Literally not a soul. It's usually written on the calendar. It wasn't even written on the calendar. And nobody told me. I went into the store and there was like some lady at the counter, and she, like, I know her, she was like a transfer from a different store to cover because there was a staff meeting. And I walk in and she asks me if I'm not working there anymore, and I just look at her like, "What do you mean?" Like, "Yeah." And she says, "There's a staff meeting, why aren't you there?" I was so mad, I just decided to not even go in, because obviously I wasn't welcome there. Obviously nobody wanted me there. That's why I wasn't informed about the staff meeting. And because of that, I lost hours for not going to an hour-long staff meeting. Okay, that nobody told me about. Okay. And then, if you're sick there, let's just say you're not allowed to be sick, because again, your hours are going to get cut. There was a day where I was extremely sick, coughing, throwing up, was there for as long as I could be there. I still showed up to work, and I got in trouble, and the next time the schedule was put out, I had 5 hours to cover 2 weeks. Get that, 5 hours for 2 weeks. Okay. Meanwhile, the whole time I've been there, I haven't really been getting many hours to begin with, and I've been voicing that I can't live off of the 15 hours that I've been given when I'm supposed to be getting 20 to 30. And I keep voicing my opinion, saying that it's not right, that I need more hours, and how is anyone supposed to live off of this? And what she does is she just keeps hiring more people, taking more hours from the people who actually need it. Because I'm not the only one that was like that. There was a couple of us that were like that, that really needed the hours. Yet the people who were not deserving of the hours are getting 40 plus hours, which is more than what they need. And just everything else is just not okay. When she would hire new people, she would train them, or she would get somebody to train them, because she's not the training kind of person, you know. She would get someone to train them, and it wouldn't go well, and we would tell her it's not going well, and she would just keep them on. Until someone that was actually important to her said, "Hey, this person needs to be let go because they're not learning." And she'd finally realize, like, "Oh, hey, maybe I need to let this person go." Every time I would attempt to tell her that somebody needs to be let go, she would just kind of be like, "Yeah, I'll talk to them. It's whatever, like, don't worry about it." She wouldn't talk to them. She wouldn't do anything about it. And that's just it. That's just how it went, all the time. And I got sick of it. I got sick of all of the disrespect from the people that I was working with, and all the bullshit that people were talking. I got sick of some of the customers, to be honest. Did you know that it's racist to tell somebody the law? I didn't know that. That's in my job description. But no, this guy, he was harassing my coworker. I was leaving work, and he was harassing my coworker, saying like she has to sell him the smokes because he's of age, but he just doesn't have his ID. But he looked really young to me and to her, and our job is to ask for ID. Plain and simple. If you don't have your ID, we have to tell you to go and get your ID, or we can't sell you the cigarettes. Plain and simple. Yeah, you'd think. No. So, he's harassing my coworker as I'm leaving, saying that she has to sell him these smokes, and that she has to do this and she has to do that. And I step in and I say, sorry, and I was really nice, like I wasn't being rude about it. I was like, sorry, but if she believes that you're under the age, then she needs to ask you for ID. And that's just how it is. You need to have your ID. And he's like flipping out at me saying like, oh, you're wrong, like I don't need my ID, I'm of age, blah, blah, blah. And I simply said, if you have a problem, sir, you could go to a different store. You can leave. And he flipped his shit, lost it on me. He was like, no, that's it, you're racist, you're a bitch, blah, 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 you're a fucking cunt, and all that stuff, all that fun stuff. So, obviously, me being me, I got really pissed off, and I went in the back, because I was about to attack him. I went in the back, and I called my boss, and I explained to her the situation. Luckily, this time, she wasn't, you know. So, I explained to her the situation, and she said, it's okay, don't worry, people are assholes. That's all you have to say? That's it? You're not gonna be like, oh, like, we'll figure something out, like, don't worry about it, like, not gonna try to, like, calm me down when I'm in the middle of a rage? No. Like, that's what a normal boss should do. But okay, I'm not gonna, you know, it's whatever, like, it's just another one of those things. And then, there's another time. I told her that I needed time off for one day because I was going to see family. She said, yeah, no problem, I'll book it off right now. She turns around, she goes in the back room. She comes out maybe 5 minutes later and she says, you're good, you're booked off for that day. And this is like a month in advance, okay? Keep that in mind, a month in advance. And I'm thinking, perfect, I got this, my day's off. And I keep going and I'm thinking, like, she's kind of two-faced. Like, I don't feel like she would just do that without a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I go in the back, and I look at the calendar, and I look at the date that I asked her to put me off for. Not a thing. T. Literally nothing. Not a thing is on that calendar for that day. I was like, are you kidding me? How could you? I literally have no words, and I didn't even then. Like, I don't even know how you could do that. Like, did you get distracted by something? How did you come out and tell me it was done when you knew you didn't do it? Like, what? I just don't understand. Also, back to being sick and not allowed to be sick. You're not allowed to be sick because she won't help you find someone to cover your shift unless you're someone that's important to her. Again. And I definitely wasn't one of those people. And I know that there's a couple people that are still there that are not those people. And I feel so bad for you guys, like, rip. Anyways. Focus on the brows. was also this one time that I was working with the guy that was working there. We'll call him John. I don't know. And he was great to work with. Loved working with him. But one time, this crazy meth head guy comes in, and I can say that because he straight up admitted he was on meth. He comes in, and he goes, guys, I need the phone, I need to call 911. And we're like, okay, like, here you go, here's the little phone that's attached to the thing, here you go, have fun, like, what's the problem, you know? And after he gets off with the phone, he starts telling John that he's tripping balls, and this might sound crazy, but he's on meth, and he's just out of it, okay? He's just, you can see it all over his face. This guy is just out of it. And he's freaking out, and John is trying to get him to calm down. When he finally gets him to calm down, he starts explaining. And what he starts going on about is, also, keep in mind, key part, he has this bag in his hand, and it's just a small little bag, probably about the size of like a hat, okay? He has this bag, and he's carrying it with him, and he's like just kind of holding on to it, and I'm like kind of sketched out, kind of worried about this bag, not really too worried about it. But anyways, he starts going on about the phone call, to the cops. And he says, I'm really worried, I'm really high, but I'm really worried about my grandma. And me and John just kind of look at each other like, okay, what's wrong with your grandma? And he goes, I'm pretty sure my landlord is a pedophile, and they're going after her. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck? And we're just kind of looking at each other like, okay, like, do we need to call you an ambulance too? Like, what's going on? So anyways, he starts explaining his story, saying like, his landlord is evil and he's after him, and he caught him like coming down the like apartment stairs or something with like a bag of like bloody kids' clothes, and I was like, yo, you're insane, but kind of interested, so keep going, continue. And he goes, and I confronted him about it, and I accused him of being a pedophile, and now he says he's going after my grandma. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, what does your grandma have to do with this? But okay, like, sorry for your grandma, man, but like, I guess we need to figure out what's going on. So he continues the story saying his landlord and the guy who's like after his grandma is like, they're like plotting something against him or whatever for the cops. And he's like, I know I'm on drugs, and like, that's not really anything to get me in trouble for. And it's like, okay, it kind of is, but that's not the point here. What's going on? So anyways, he's talking about this guy that's going after his grandma and the landlord, and how they gave him letters that are his handwriting. They're on a weird paper, and they're his writing, but he didn't write them. And I'm like, okay, this guy's actually crazy now. Like, I don't know what he's going on about. And John's like, okay, I'm gonna go call the cops again and call an ambulance because I don't know what's wrong with this guy. So he goes in the back room, and while he's in the back room, this guy's like re-explaining the story again. And I'm just thinking, like, what is going on? And he starts pulling these papers out of this bag when he gets to this part. He says that they have evidence on him and stuff. And he opens up this paper, and it's like, you know that paper when you're in school and there's like, it's like two sheets attached to each other and you write on the top one and it goes through to the bottom one? That's the paper that it was. It was the bottom one. So somebody was taking letters from him somewhere, and like this is what he's saying. He's like, somebody is taking my handwriting and putting it on this page and writing over it and like writing all these things. And I'm thinking, like, you're literally insane. Like, I've been thinking this the whole time, but now I'm just like, I'm positive you're insane. And he goes, look at this one. And he holds up the big one, and all I see, the first word, the biggest word on the page, evidence. And I was just like, nope, like, John, get the hell out here. Like, help me. And he comes running out, and I see, like, I turn around, and, like, the window's right behind me, and I see, like, ambulances and cop cars and, like, all this crazy stuff coming in, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad I had somebody here to, like, help me with that, because I don't know what I would have done if I was by myself. But, yeah, so the cops came in, and they kind of, like, asked us, like, what was going on, what that was all about type thing, and we're like, ask him, we're just as confused as you guys are. So they go out and they ask him and they take him in the ambulance, and we never saw him again. But it was crazy, and I never heard anything about it, like, on the news, so I don't think it was real. But he was, like, on something, like, he was really not there, and it was a crazy night, needless to say. But anyways, there's also, because of the town that we were in, it was a really, like, bad town for drugs and stuff like that. It kind of didn't help the fact that there was a lot of druggies there. And because of that, I saw a lot of people come in who were not okay. This one time, also working with John, this guy comes in with this lady, and she kind of is, like, a little sketchy looking, and this guy is just kind of, like, really big and buff and kind of looks like a little sick, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't really judge people as soon as they walk in, but, I mean, the lady, she was kind of quite obviously on something. Anyways, so this guy just stops at the counter, and he puts his head down, and he's at John's till, and I'm at the other till, and he stops at John's till, and he puts his head down, and he's just sitting there, not moving. And his friend, like, the lady, is just walking around, getting stuff from the fridges, whatever, because they're gonna bring it up and either steal it or buy it, who knows. And this guy is just not moving, with his head down on the counter like this. And he's just not moving. And we're like, what's going on? Like, this isn't good. John kind of tries to tap him and, like, wake him up and be like, hey, are you okay? He lifts his head up, and his head is completely reddish purple. Like, completely, from, like, top to bottom, completely purple. And I was just like, oh my god, like, that is not good. Like, we need to call somebody. So John immediately grabs the phone, goes, calls an ambulance, calls the police. They come instantly because it's quite obviously an overdose, as sad as it is to say. But that's what it was. And it was just honestly, like, terrifying. But, like, I don't know, like, when the cops and the ambulance came, like, he was just, like, sitting outside. His friend, like, freaked out and, like, came to the front, like, after we started calling the cops and whatever. And they, like, were sitting outside on the curb. Like, I never heard anything from them again, never saw them again. Like, don't know what happened to him, don't know if he's good or not, but I hope he is, and if not, rest in peace. I'm not sure if that's, like, appropriate, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm just trying to tell you guys stories. Like, don't get offended. Don't get offended. Okay, moving on to the next segment. The new people. So once John left, it was all women. I never ever had an issue with John well, I mean, he was kind of big in there, you know what I mean, but he was there. He actually did his job and was respectful, and that's the whole point. So after he left, it was all women for a while, and it was all fine and dandy until they hire another guy. And it would have been great and all if he wasn't a complete asshole and disrespectful fuck. The problem that I had the most was that we had a task sheet, and he would look at the task sheet and look at what my name was assigned to, and he would do my tasks so that he didn't have to be on the till serving. Meanwhile, he's on the floor doing my tasks, writing it off as my name, and he's not even doing the job. He's walking around and putting a can at the front and looking around to see if anybody's watching. Like, what are you doing? Like, buddy, you need to actually do work. Like, there was also another time when we sweep and mop. We take the mop bucket out, like we sweep first. We take the mop bucket out, we take it to the other side of the store, and we fill it up with the hot coffee machine, because everybody there knows that the tap in, the back sink doesn't produce hot water for shit. So there's no point, it's not going to clean the floors if you try to wash it with that. So I kept telling him, you have to pull the bucket out, put soap in it before you bring it out, and pull it over here, and pull the machine out, and pull the lever, and stand there and let it fill up for a second. Take a 5-second break while you let the mop bucket fill up. You don't need to mess around with the tap and wait for it to get hot, which it's never going to do. Just irks me when people don't do things the way that they should be doing it, when they're, told to do it that way a million times, not only by me, but the boss. So I don't really understand. And then the boss complains that it's dirty. So I start taking over, and when I actually just stand up for myself and say, hey, stop doing my jobs, I'm gonna do it because you obviously, can't do it. I'm getting bitched at because you're writing off my name for doing the jobs that I'm supposed to be doing, that you're not even doing properly. So I just said, nope, F that, I'm gonna be doing my jobs from now on, and you're gonna sit there on the till and you're gonna fuck off. And once he finally got on the till, it was like, hey, how do you do this, how do you do this, how do you do this? Back to the doesn't train anybody. At least not properly anyways. Just zooms through it and expects them to know. No, it's not how it works. And then, after I said, no, I'm gonna start doing this, my job again, because it was my job to begin with. I don't know why the hell you're doing it. I kind of just let him do it in the beginning so that he could get more self-training kind of thing. But it obviously wasn't working out, so. So anyways, after I started doing the mopping and cleaning again, I was the one that was dumping out the mop bucket. And the way that we would do it is we would just kind of lift the toilet seat and dump it in the toilet. The more water that goes in, the more it flushes. Whatever, everybody knows that. Common sense. Anyways, so I would be the one doing it, and every time I would either not spill. Or if I did spill a little bit on the rim, I would wipe it off because it's fucking mop water and whatever. So you get your little gloves and you just wipe it off. Plain and simple. So one day, I'm working with him, and I go into the bathroom after I cleaned the mop bucket and everything like that. I cleaned off the seat, everything was all good. I go back out and I'm still on the floor doing whatever. An hour or so goes by and he's like been to the bathroom like 4 times since then. I don't know what he's doing, or nor do I care. But like, you should be doing your job also. Anyways. So, this man, I shit you not, I go into the bathroom and the rim, not even, like, not the rim, but like the actual toilet seat. First of all, when I empty the bucket, the toilet seat gets lifted, so no excuses there. Second of all, you're a man. Why are you peeing with the seat down? Third, be respectful. You are working with women. You need to fucking stop peeing on the seat. I literally had to stop using the bathroom at work, and I made it a concern to my boss because it kept happening, and it was pissing me off. And I was the only one it was happening to. It was just blatant disrespect at that point. So I was pissed. I was not letting that shit happen anymore. So I made it known that I was not working with this man. And the more that she put me on with this man, the more I was done with this fucking place. Everything adding up. All the crazy shit. All the times that I've had to call 911. Most of the times were left out of this story time, by the way. All the times that I had to call 911. All of the times that I had to deal with a shitty customer. All the times that I've literally had a fucking meltdown because of the horrible shit that I've had to go through with this store and these people and everything. I was done. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was done. I just couldn't take it anymore. They were driving me up the wall. Like, after I specifically asked to not be put on with him again, the next schedule that she made, she put me on with him like every shift that I had except for like 1. And I was like, are you actually kidding me right now? So I just got really annoyed and, and basically just started kind of being like, okay, then I'm not gonna do much around here if you're gonna disrespect me like that. So I stopped doing as much as I was doing. I started being on my phone more often. I started doing a lot more that I shouldn't have, I guess you could say. But not really, because I still got my job done regardless. Like, I was just not caring, like, attitude, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's not to say, like, that's who I am, because I'm not that person, but it's like when a place starts getting to you enough and people are coming in and giving you attitude constantly, you can't just sit there with a smile on your face and take it after so long. You just have to snap. And at one point I was like, I'm done, like I can't. I lost it, and that was it. And I quit, and I'm so happy that I did. I don't know, from the beginning at that place it was just not okay. Extra little sparklies and whatever off. Okay, we're back. Again, the focus, the dedication. Honestly though, I do have a few more stories about that place. I just don't really want to like bash them too hard. I just want to say that I hated that place, but I mean, it did teach me a lot about people and opportunities and missed opportunities at that, and a lot of other things. And I'm very thankful for that, and I want to thank everyone who was there along the way with me. And obviously I'm not making this video to like cause drama or like start anything with the company or anything stupid like that. I'm just like, I literally didn't even tell you where it was and name actual names. Like John was a fake name, like that's not his name. And I don't even think I named anybody else's name other than that, and if I did I'll bleep it out. But with that being said, I do want to thank the one good person that I worked with, and I guess there was a couple of you. I'm just thinking of the one right now. So, with everything being said about that place and everything I went through, I'm kind of just making this video to warn others, like, look out. When you're being treated badly and you think you're being treated badly, please get out of that situation, no matter what it is, whether it's a job, a relationship, a friendship, anything. Honestly, get out of that because it's not healthy. And I feel so much better. Like, I've started eating better. I've actually been doing my makeup again, which I stopped doing because I was getting really stressed and depressed and not okay. I wasn't myself when I was there. It just started taking a toll on me, and I'm so glad that I'm done. I'm so glad that I've got an amazing support system, an amazing person to be with, to support me through everything and to just be there for me. Like, yeah, I am in the process of looking for a new job, but for now I'm just kind of having fun. If I don't get one, I don't really get one. I don't know, I personally don't really have like priorities at the moment. Obviously I have to pay for things and stuff like that, but like things get figured out, and I believe that health is a lot more important than almost anything else out there, to be honest. Like, thinking about it, it's honestly, to be healthy is one of the best things. So definitely stay like that, get healthy. Probably looks crazy. And that's gonna get filled in a second, so I'm not worried. Kind of on there. Wish I had my things, I don't have them here. I keep opening this thing. Okay. So now that I finally have these on, I'm going to take this little fluffy angled brush. There's not really anything on it besides made in China and Minso. But you know. So we're just going to take this black shade in this cheap little palette. Because again, that's all I really have here. And just kind of go up underneath, in between the lashes. see the difference. It just makes it look more full and thick, and I like that. And there's both of them. Pop on a tiny bit of this Tease color by AOA Studio. It's a Wonder Matte Liquid Lip. Not too much. That's it. We're all done. Okay, and that's it. We're all done. I guess I'll take you guys into better lighting. Okay, and here's the final look. My cat. Come here, Mercedes. Okay. She just really wanted to be in the video. Okay, so yeah. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. Let me know if you guys want me to make more videos like this. Let me know in the comment section down below what kind of videos you want me to make. And let me know in the comment section down below what kind of makeup looks you want me to do. Or hair looks, because once this fades out, we're probably going to do something else and then go right to something for Christmas. So, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.